Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I am Zachimus Prime, aka Zachimus Prime, bringing you another Transformers video review. And today, the figure I'm going to be reviewing is the Studio Series Grimlock. And Grimlock is a big boy, whereas Blackout felt a little small for a leader class figure. This guy is definitely maybe even a little big. He's big. Now granted, of course, that was because all of these things scale with each other. Come on, knees. Just that one click in between that I want them to get, and they don't seem to want to do it. So, like, you know, the Blackout and the upcoming Megatron and the Starscream, they all scale well together with each other. And Grimlock, as you've seen, if you saw the movie, I'm sorry if you have, but if you have, then you know that Grimlock's a big guy. And so they made his figure suitably large. I gotta be honest with you, I kind of like the way this looks. It's all relatively kibble free. I mean, you got this chunk right here. But other than that, you know, it's relatively kibble free, pretty smooth, you know, for a movie figure, pretty smooth exterior. It's all basically molded in this gray plastic and then painted, like dry brushed with this like greenish metallic. And I mean, you know, somebody just came over here with a chip brush and just, it's not like there was a lot of, you know, loving care put into it. But it still looks pretty good. I kind of wish that it had continued into, you know, like this part here kind of sticks out and the feet kind of stick out in the fact that they don't have any paint apps on them. I don't know, that reminds me. I was taking a look at this one day. I could have sworn I saw a paint app on it. Ah, yes, there it is. Right there. There's a paint app. Yeah, so I guess there is paint apps on his club weapon. So there you go. Problem solved. The world is a wonderful place again. Anyhow, so we had gotten a leader class Grimlock with Transformers 4, the toy line for that, and to be perfectly honest, it kind of sucked. It didn't look that great. It didn't transform that great. It didn't do anything all that great. And this is definitely an improvement over that. I no longer have the my leader class Grimlock to compare with because I'm an intelligent man and I got rid of that. But yeah, he's pretty nice. In terms of posability, his head is on a ball joint here. Wiggles about. His head, by the way, totally looks like a, you know, concept art for Guyver that got rejected. His shoulders move all the way around. They don't go like, they don't windmill because his ear spikes get in the way, but that's a-okay by me. So both arms will go on the clicky joints, if you like the clicky joints. Arm only goes out that far. Upper bicep swivel. It does have an elbow joint here. On this arm, it's a little loose. On this arm, it's significantly tighter. Though, you know, I think that maybe a little more work to tighten that up would have been great. On this arm, he actually, well, all this stuff moves around, and he's got little arms on his arms, but we don't worry about that right now. He does have a wrist swivel here, so that's something, you know. He's got a waist joint. Oh, yeah. Little skirt armors here. He's got these ones move forward like that, and these ones move outward, but not really much. Certainly not enough to really change the amount of posability you get. And you can tell that they're all meant to go in one position because they fit together with just a minor seam here. Whereas if you move them into any other position, they don't really fit together at all. Kind of like a Zaku 2 skirt in that way, in that regard. Legs will go forward that much, backward that much, out that much. Does have a thigh swivel. Knee bend is about almost 90 degrees, almost. He does have, you can bend more. This is a transformation joint here. It's meant to click into place, but if you smack that, you can get like a full bend, but then the like knee looks like all like distended and weird. But if that's what you want to do, then go for it, man. This little thing moves a bit. I think it's supposed to point out a little bit more than, I think it's supposed to point out kind of. Ankles are on a ball joint, so they'll move, swivel, up and down, side to side, tiltage. And that's Grimlock in his robot mode. That's the one I'm looking for. And he's all right. He's big. He looks pretty good with the other Studio Series figures. Again, I am going to do a full, like, comprehensive review of the Studio Series line as a whole, but I don't have it up. I don't have all of them yet. I'm still missing 2 figures. If you watch my reviews, you know which 2 figures they are. But yeah, let's get him transformed up. Oh, one other thing, by the way, before I get too far into this, I don't know who decided, hey, you know, this guy, so on the Leader class toy and the Voyager class toy, the head of the Dynamo splits and becomes the shoulders. But apparently whoever actually designed Grimlock, you know, for the movie is like, you know what he really needs? He really needs 2 complete dino heads, 1 for each shoulder. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't know whose idea that was. I think it's kind of a dumb idea, but, you know, but I do like that they did it. He's got, you know, 2 full dino modes with, and each one has like all the correct corresponding paint apps. Which, by the way, this is the only other paint app besides that metallic green is the red. You got red in the eyes on both sides here, and the red of his actual face eyes. Yeah, I can give you the evil look. Front and back, by the way. They did not skimp on the paint apps. I like that. So to get them transformed up, first thing we're going to do is we're going to like that. So let's do this arm first. So we're going to take this and extend this out a little bit. This is going to come around, and then we're going to bend this. There's a joint right in here. He's going to curl this fist up, and you're going to wedge it underneath this overhang. It is kind of a pain in the ass. Maybe this isn't how I start. This is how I started before. This is how I started last time. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to start with the legs. Forget I did that. We're going to start with the legs. So, for the legs, we're going to turn this part here 90 degrees this way. It has to be this way, otherwise it won't transform. You're going to take his feet, turn them all the way around. This part is going, his ridiculous clown shoes, his toes is going to fold into this hollow in the back of the leg. Fold into the hollow like so. We're going to unpeg that joint there, and we're going to bend this forward. So you got this kind of digitigrade knee thing going on. And then we're just going to bend this joint. When this unhooked from here, you can bend it forward, and then we're going to bend them both as forward as it'll go. Take these, and we're going to kind of yank on it. So basically what's going to happen here is you've got these 2 hips are actually on their own little section, okay? And they're both pegged together and then pegged up into this waist section. So we're going to kind of yank on it down and yank on it apart and try to get that all in the same motion. And there's one and there's the other. You can see here, there's the pegs that keep the sides together, and then up here These are the pegs that keep it plugged in up there. So now that these are disconnected, we can take this whole part and fold it forward ever so slightly. And then we'll just ignore it for the time being. Because before we get much farther than this, we need to take this chest section here, open it up. We're gonna fold down his antenna part here, his Guyver antenna. Fold this, flip the whole part around, and then close it back up, like so. Now that we're not dealing with this chest panel anymore, this peg can fit into this tab right here, or this slot, tab, slot. Jeez, I'm getting all my terminology mixed up. Like so. And then there's a corresponding slot and tab back here, like so. I like to pull these out a little bit because I figure they got to do something in this mode, right? These are supposed to be able to fit together, tab into something right there. That works. And then this skirt armor is just going to kind of move in here in a bit. For the tail section here, we're going to take this, we're going to flip this part out of this weapon, flip this around so that this spikes are facing up, fold that part in. We're going to extend this all the way out, and then we're going to take this, split this head. And then this section here, this is going to be his back skirt armors. We're going to fold it in just a little bit, and then that kind of fits in there. It fits in there, kind of. Emphasis on the kind of. Really what needs to happen is, because it's a bit loose, I need to see about getting that fixed up. All right, now we're going to go back here. The part that I said to do first, we're actually doing last. So we're going to extend that out. With the skirt armor out of the way, that gives me more clearance in here. That's why I decided not to actually start with that. So that fist goes underneath that overhang. The jaw comes up. You got these pegs right here, little slots in here. Pegs and slots, they like to go together because they're just like that. And there we have Grimlock in his dino mode, and you know, he looks decent actually. I think if we can get his parts to stay in place. Which, you know, we can't. I wonder if there's a way to, like, tuck them up underneath something. I don't know. I just wish that there's, like, a better way to get these things. If there's some sort of, like, a detent or, like, a tab or something, that would have worked out better than it does now. So, I mean, like I've said, I mean, you've heard me say this before. It's a good figure. It's not a perfect figure. And Grimlock is no real exception to that. He's a good figure. He's not a perfect figure, but he's pretty good. In this mode, he's got his legs will move backwards. Backwards that much, forwards that much. He's got his knee joint here. A little bit of a thigh swivel here. Not nearly as much articulation on the feet because that part's going into the back of it there. But I mean, he has enough to stand. Excuse me. He has little dino arms on little ball joints here, and you can open up his jaw that much. It's worth noting, however, that because of the way this figure is designed, if you look at this from the front, you'll see that everything is kind of curved around, like he's got scoliosis in his throat. That does offset his teeth by a significant amount. Let's see, maybe I don't have it lined up properly. No, I've got it lined up properly. No, his teeth are just offset. So I guess there's that. I'm sure part of it has to do with the fact that these are made out of a pretty soft, flexible rubber. So that, you know, little kids don't get, you know, tore up by Grimlock. He'd be like, Mommy, he bit me. And yeah, I really wish that this part fit in there. If you squint, this throat section looks fairly decent, but if you look at it critically, like at all, you can see it right through it in like half a dozen places. Oh yeah, there's just a big old fist in his throat. But I don't know. I mean, all in all, I think it's pretty decent. Oh yeah, if you really want to, you can go like this. Oh, that doesn't want to go any further. Odd. Huh. Alrighty. Yeah, I wish that this part stayed up much better. In fact, I may have to see about doing something to tighten that up. But you know, his alt mode looks pretty good as well. I don't think it looks as good as his robot mode, but yeah, it looks pretty decent. I think that this is definitely the best iteration of Grimlock we've gotten so far. I mean, like I'll say, it's not perfect, but I think it's definitely the best one so far. And I don't know, with any luck, with the reboot of the movie series coming about, maybe the next version of Grimlock will have a better design. Oh, come on. I just want that to stay up. Anyhow, thanks everyone for watching. This is Echimus Prime. I'm signing off. I'm going to go do something else. Everybody, you have a wonderful day. Be good to each other. You're the best. And I'll see you around.